my goodness, guys, it is like not even bright here. Like it is actually completely dark, and I have just literally rolled out of bed. I don't know how awake I am. I'm not even sure how much my brain is functioning, but we're gonna see how we go anyway, because today is day one of Nano for me. I'm in Sydney, so it is already November the 1st. If you are joining me from elsewhere in the world, particularly the Western Hemisphere, it might still be Halloween for you guys, so happy Halloween. And I guess this might qualify as a Halloween activity for you, I guess, because I feel like my writing's gonna be pretty scarily terrible today. But we're gonna see how we go. So oh my goodness, what are we doing? So I need to open up my little task tracker, because I do want to actually yeah, hey X-Men, yeah, it's a 5 a.m. start. I'm so not awake, but well, it's fine. I'm not actually sure you need to be awake to write, because I hear that like when you're not as awake, like you can kind of tap into kind of those oh my gosh, I don't even know, like, but maybe when I'm less awake I will be filtering myself less, so that is probably a good thing. So I am gonna come over here though and start my little workflow tracker. I just like to have this because it just helps me make sure that I'm doing everything that I want to do, and I don't have to kind of mentally remember what I am doing. So that is what I'm going to go over here and do. All right, so, oh boy, this is NaNoWriMo day one, scene one, I guess. Oh man, so guys, like after I uploaded my video on Friday, I went and thought a little bit more about my outline, and I have actually kind of junked everything I did during the Preptober live streams, because I was just like, there's something not right about this. And I think what was bothering me was it didn't qualify as a progression fantasy, because like originally my idea was to do like a take on Harry Potter, but like, you know, from the POV of one of the magical teachers. And then I think I struggled with like thinking, hang on a second, like if they're already good enough at the magic to be teaching, then like there's not much progression to do at that, because usually if you're teaching at like the high school level, it's not to say you're like an absolute expert in your field, right? But like the progression in progression fantasy typically means your protagonist starts off as like a super underpowered person, like not even a normal underdog, but like an extreme underdog, like the kind of person who, you know, everybody thinks can't use the magic for whatever reason or something like that. And so I was just like, okay, that idea kind of, it doesn't really work if I want to be writing to market for progression fantasy. Like at some point during the series I can probably use that idea, but probably not for book one. So over the weekend, I spent a little bit of time thinking about how else I could do this, and I was just like, okay, you know what? We are just gonna kind of do like a fairly typical narrative, but we are, I don't want to actually start off at the typical magical school kind of thing, because I'm just a bit like that. I feel like that's a little bit overdone. So I'm just gonna like take my real life experiences in the corporate world, and we're just going to try and analogize it to a fantasy world, because I feel like not enough books actually do that. And there is something very progression fantasy about like the entire mindset of, you know, ladder climbing in the corporate world. So we shall see how well that goes. So that does mean I kind of am panting a lot more than I plan to do, because if we jump over down to the plot, I kind of like have my 3 arcs mapped out-ish, but not really. So yeah, I do not know what I'm going to write a lot more than usual. Usually I have this a lot more planned out. So I figure out it's mainly going to be a character arc of some sort, and we are going to have, I feel like, 2 event plots, which are going to be kind of like the first arc, the first and the second arc of the book, and then I feel like the last arc we're gonna maybe do a milieu arc or like a heist of some sort. I don't know how I'm gonna go with that. And so it does mean that as far as outlining goes, I have maybe just kind of got like chapter headings at this point. And some of these headings are like terrible. So we'll do something about that when we get to writing it. And I am going to do like 2 to 3 scenes each per chapter. So again, we shall see. And then right now I have this like outline graveyard at the back of all the stuff that I basically did during Preptober, which I'm not going to use right now. So it is what it is. Okay, so anyway, so the POV is going to be the protagonist, and right now the first scene I've got her starting off as a petitioner. So the first scene we are going to be, our objective is going to be to complete a job application. That's what she's doing. Where is she going to be doing this? I think I will set this at home, her family home. And what is the conflict? She's really, she's trying really hard to focus, but everything around her is extremely disruptive. Oops, and I forgot my tri-fail outcome, but the tri-fail outcome here is she's going to be trying to complete the application and she's going to have to leave her house to do it. That's just what we're going to go with for now. So let's go here and we are going to set up a new chapter. Oh my goodness, morning Andrew. Wow, you already got 400 words in this morning. That's awesome. And oh, X-Men, you're already at like almost 15,000 words. You guys like are on fire. Oh man, okay, I'm just gonna have to like do some real serious catching up. Okay, all right, here we go. Chapter 1. Oh, I had a working title, didn't I? All right, let's put my working title in. Chapter 1. What did I call it? Petition. All right, so I just tend to kind of do individual chapters for my Google Docs because once you kind of get above a certain word count, I think Google Docs kind of chokes on stuff. So, but at the chapter level is good because it does mean it's like easier to share things with my critique group. We're calling this petition. Okay. Oh man, I think I can actually turn on word count for you guys somewhere. Where is it? Add-ons, no, edit, no, you. Yeah, I just need the keyboard shortcut for this. Oh, there we go. Display word count while typing. All right, there you guys go. Word count is at the bottom. I am going to share this in case anybody from my writing group wants to jump in. I do need to change this so that I can comment on it. I would share this with you guys, but I'm kind of not brave enough right now to do that. So it's already kind of petrifying enough that you guys are watching me type this in real time. So we shall see. So I'm just gonna hop over to our Discord and here we go. All right, chapter 1, here goes. And all right, I'm just gonna put myself on mute and we are gonna start typing, and feel free to type things at me in the chat while I'm doing this. And when I get to the end of the scene, we shall break and we shall go again. I don't know if this is good or not. Oh my goodness. Let's see. I just need to take a break for a minute because my brain is just like, where am I going with this thing? I don't actually know. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's come back and have a look at the chat. Oh my goodness. What have you guys been doing while I've been just like panicking? Oh man. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see. Oh, right. Oh man, so Andrew, you've been writing for like, oh, what time is it now? Oh, almost 6 a.m. for me, so it must be almost noon for you. So you've been going for 6 hours. Okay, that is a long sprint for you. Oh, kids eating lunch around me. I honestly don't know if I would be able to write if my daughter was up. Chances are she'd be hanging off my lap and I would not be able to concentrate. So props to you for writing with your kids around. Oh my goodness. Oh, Justin, don't know if you're still on, but awesome. We'll look forward to seeing you on later streams. I am the Tim. Is there a reason all the houses begin with I? Yes, I just kind of arbitrarily made them all begin with I just so like they feel like they seem like they're all from the same language. I kind of spent a little bit of a time in a conlang rabbit hole while I was plotting the outline until somebody in my writers group like just yelled at me to stop, you know, messing around with world building stuff and just like actually start thinking about writing, which I always need the reminder of. So yes. Yes is the reason. I do not know what the in-world reason is. I figure out that I will probably make it up at some point when I have a bit more time to mess around with conlangs. Conlangs are just, they kind of do my head in. Like I really like the idea of conlangs because they make the world feel a lot more real. But at the same time, I am not well versed enough in linguistics to actually know what I am doing with the conlang. So there is like another YouTube series that is something like 8 videos long, which is a step-by-step walkthrough of how to construct your own conlang, which I'll put it in the description of the stream after we're done here. But it is like it's a pretty in-depth process, and it all starts with like you know, you have to think about the different kinds of sounds and languages, and then I think the process where you have to kind of think about the setting that those people lived in when that language originated, and therefore you then have to come up with certain root words in that particular language that would describe their surroundings and thoughts and cultures and that kind of stuff. And then from those root words, you would then build rules of grammar and other things and make compound words from them that would also reflect their way of thinking and everything. And I was just like, okay, I need to stop, because if I try to do a conlang, I'm going to be here for like another 20 years. So yeah, that's why I did not go further down in the rabbit hole, but we shall see. Let's see. Oh, breaking 1,000. Yeah, yeah, but I honestly, guys, I don't know if I should count it, because that, like, have you seen how many like notes I've left to myself in here? I figure like I have probably only counted like, I don't know. I feel like if you had to like delete all of these like mental notes to myself that I've left in the course of this document, I would not actually be at 1,000 words. Oh wow, so 1,100 words since the sprint started. That's awesome. This is actually pretty good for me. I normally edit way more as I write, but I just decided to keep going with like placeholder stuff, which means my draft this time around is going to be less clean than they normally are, because normally I just kind of like sit here and go, oh, I should come up with a word for like parent, except I don't know what that is. And then I would probably spend like half an hour Googling random things and like making up words until I found one that was puppy. And yeah, so place all the words, like place all the little notes, like this is going well for me, but maybe I should like start doing them as comments on the side of the Google Doc, because like I kind of feel like this is distorting my actual word count. Yeah, oh man. So I am like, at this point, how am I feeling about the scene? It was interesting to watch the process. Well, I'm glad you're finding it interesting, Tim. Like, yeah, I just, my brain, like right now, you guys literally saw my stream of consciousness as I was writing. Like, there are so much negative self-talk happens like during writing. Brandon Sanderson actually did post a similar series of videos on his YouTube channel like years and years ago when he was writing, oh, which book was it? I think when he was writing Oathbringer. So he's posted, I think, like 7 videos of him writing the Risen interlude in Stormlight Archive number 3 on his channel. And it was just super interesting to watch him work because he kind of like bounces around between 2 different sections of his document. I'll also put a link to those videos in the description after this live stream, and so you guys can check it out if you want to. But yeah, it was like fascinating because his outline, which is like way more prepared than my outline, was he kind of, I don't know that he necessarily does something like this, but he usually, the way he organizes it, if you've looked at his skyward outline, which he has on his website, is he kind of has like these plots, right? Like, so he has bullet points listed out for the promise, the progress, and the payoff of every single plot thread that he's got. And then what he does is when he goes to write a particular chapter, he'll kind of look at all his plot threads like this, and then he'll be like, oh, for this plot thread, I'm up to this bullet point. So he pulls that down into the chapter, and then he'll pull something else from the other chapter, and then he'll kind of like construct his chapters like that. And so when he starts writing, he kind of has a section right at the bottom of his document where he goes, okay, in this chapter, like these are the various bullet points from the various plot threads that happen in this chapter or that need to happen in this chapter. And then he just kind of like goes. He goes from the beginning and he just goes through, like you see him kind of pausing to refer to his outline here and there. But other than that, like he just literally writes, and he doesn't write as fast as it seems like he does. And I think he's been on record, his word count per hour is like 500-ish, I think. But yeah, like when you sit and watch him write, it is actually really interesting watching his process because you can just kind of see the decisions he makes just on small words and things like that. And oh, what was the other thing that he's done is when he did Dawn Shard, which was the backer reward for backing the Way of Kings Leatherbound edition. Dawn Shard is a novella that comes in between Stormlight Archive 3 and Stormlight Archive 4. And as a backer reward, he actually gave us the published version of Dawn Shard, and then he released all of his versions during that whole process. And it was just so fascinating to dig through those drafts and actually look at what changed between the versions. And he also gave us his beta reader spreadsheet, which is just amazing. I need to like do a video on that at some point. But yeah, like looking into the process of another writer is like fascinating. So I'm glad you guys are finding this interesting. Oh yeah, Andrew, it is like so fascinating that he does retcon as he goes, which I actually really like that. I like the fact that he gives himself permission to just go, you know what, it's okay. Like, I know I need to fix this. And then he just like mentally makes a note that I'm going to pretend that the next chapter I have fixed this. I'll just make a note in the earlier chapters and I'll just go on. Like, that has to be so amazing because like what I would used to do, and I definitely did this when I was working on my Broadway musical, which I still don't know when I'm going to finish. But honestly, it was like I would get stuck in revision hell. Like I would go and write all these chapters or like write all these scenes, and then I would go, oh, that really doesn't work because of X, Y, Z. And then like I would stop writing forward in the show or the story or whatever, and I would just go back and continually revise what I've written. So like, yeah, definitely his retcon method is really, really helpful. Oh yes, Sanderson rabbit hole. I'm just a massive Sanderson fan. I just think like he's one of the most transparent writers out there. And it's just so helpful watching all of his stuff because like a lot of other professional writers, I find like it's not that they're not helpful, right? Like they do give helpful advice, but I find Sanderson is just the most transparent. Like having your own subject at BYU obviously helps, right? And then putting those online obviously helps even more. And what I just find like his willingness to let you really into his process, like that Risen videos is not the only thing he's done live while he's like actually writing. I think he's been at a few cons and things like that where he's just like for like fundraising stuff, he's just like, okay, I'm gonna write like, you know, the beginning of a story, and I'm just gonna take suggestions from like, you know, people watching live. And it is just so fascinating how like he takes super random ideas. I think the idea for that stream I watched one time was something about like magical powers coming from like hair, and then so like, you know, a barber shop is actually a really handy place of like collecting magic, because like you get to cut off people's hair and like keep hair samples. And it was just like a totally weird idea that I'm sure somebody on stream just like threw out there just to see what he did with it, and he did something really cool with it. So yeah, that just goes to show that like, you know, I should maybe obsess less about my ideas being dumb, because clearly dumb ideas can still work. It's all in the execution. Yeah, absolutely. Like this ability to just kind of reflect on your own thought process. I think there's actually a proper psychological term for it. Going to come to me in a minute. Metacognition. I think it's called metacognition, like for people who study this stuff. And yeah, like metacognition. Like sometimes having a lot of metacognition is not helpful, because I feel like you just kind of overthink everything that you do. But when you do have it, it is actually really helpful, because if you don't have it, it's really hard to work on and improve stuff. Okay, so all right, that's been a bit of a break. I didn't actually intend to take a break. Usually I just kind of like go for, you know, nearly 2 hours until I get to the end point of the scene. But I was just like, I don't know where the scene goes. I just kind of really needed to take one. Cool. All right. I think let's do a short review. So for this thing, I have established she's doing some sort of application. We've seen her do like a bit of the application. I've worked in a bit of her backstory over there, and her parents are like doing mapping. And okay, all right. I think I might work in one more exchange between her and her mother, and then that exchange is just basically going to end up with her saying, okay, I need to bail, and she bails to somewhere else, and I guess I will make it somewhere else in the town. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's try and keep going. We'll see if I can actually get to the end of this. I think where this chapter is going to end is we're going to end up with Rahilu showing up at where the oh no, I can't, because like, you know what, according to my outline, she needs to go around and hunt for references. So I think that is what we're going to do today. So this chapter, I think, will end roughly when she's gotten to the end of her no, this chapter has to be all about her doing the application. So I need to write the next bit about different parts of the job application. Job applications, like, I feel like I should just go and randomly Google a couple of job applications, but I really don't need to dive into another rabbit hole right now. So I'm just going to go with what I remember of my job application process when I first came out of high school, which was like, wow, that was a long time ago. Oh, all right. Yeah. Amen. So amen, Tim. We are going to stop thinking and start writing again. So, all right, let's see if I can get another 1,000 words out, and then we shall check in anon. Right, let's go. that is it for this sprint. I am going to go and take a quick break for food because it is almost 7 o'clock and I am starving and my brain is just like, I need food to continue functioning. So we are at roughly 2,000 words so far, so hopefully that is a good starting point. And oh my goodness, wow, Andrew, you are on fire here. That's amazing. How many words have you done altogether? Is that, if I just look back at the chat, have you done like 3,000 words this morning? I feel like it might be 3,000 words. Not sure. Anyway, all right. I am going to end the stream here, and I will see you guys if you're joining me again in half an hour for the next stream. See you in a bit.